another episode of
Mum
and Son. I'm Jay, I'm the son.
I'm Alicia and I'm the mum.
Welcome. Back to the channel, back with a brand new episode, right?
Absolutely, and it's a great joy to be here, and we're happy that you're here with us too.
Exactly. And I must admit, doing these videos and putting them out and stuff is just an amazing
experience.
Like,
it
is.
is.
I'm looking back. Sometimes I can't even lie. I'm looking back at the podcast, previous episodes we've done, and things like that. And I just think, wow, like just for us to when we started, we've
come so far,
and then see how things are going. It's been fantastic.
It's so true. We've come such a long way in the evolution of what we're doing and how it's unfolding.
It really is. So that just popped in my mind for some reason when I said that, because I'm getting so used to opening these videos or episodes. So it's today's one though is a very interesting topic.
I thought about it, and as we always do talk about these things, I thought about it and I thought this will be a good one, because depending on people's situation and circumstances, they will always be looking to find solutions to a situation, event or predicament that they're in, or simply just to find a solution forward in their life in any way. And obviously that could be right across the board. So we will try to cover as much as we can, try and make it sort of
literally dissecting it, isn't it? Like
and make it available to all.
That's exactly it. Just making it practical and resonate with all types of people coming from different sides of the coin or the size of the square or the shape or whatever you want to call it. Because I think that's a good thing we do as well, is we're also considering not just what we may go through, but what others could be too, and how that could be adaptable.
And I think we've done that more and more as we went along, because you realise that people have different viewpoints, and when they're listening to something, they're coming from a different place than maybe what you're coming from or someone else is coming from. So it's nice to kind of encompass,
make it inclusive,
and make it inclusive so that everyone can get something out of it, no matter what.
And this one is good because it's general, but then I guess we'll go down to specifics as well. So finding solutions in life. And I guess the main thing is what people might be thinking when they're watching is how do you find solutions when you need answers or you need guidance or you need a way forward? How do you find solutions to those things in your life? What do you think? Maybe you can kick off, or I think one of the ways, and we'll probably go into it a bit deeper, but I'll just start in a general level, is I think when we tend to have a problem that appears, we can do one of two things. One, we're either focusing on a solution in some type of way, or the second one, we're focusing on the problem and feeling a bit paralyzed and overwhelmed by it, to the point that we multiply or amplify the problem itself
to be bigger than what it is.
Exactly. And what I try to do is, even when you feel that initial thing of, oh my gosh, this is happening, or oh my gosh, I can't believe it, this is scary, or what am I going to do, I'm frustrated, I tend to, once that happens, I tend to pull back and say, hold up a second, what would I like for the outcome to be?
That's powerful.
And then by tilting that focus, you start to open yourself up to more, maybe opportunities, solutions, or feedback to yourself that's going to be more towards something positive.
I like that. I really like that, Jay. I think that is, one of the key things is to view whatever it is from a different point of view. Do not allow panic and fear to set in, because I think those things block the channels for receiving, for receiving answers, finding solutions, finding resolutions in whatever it is that you need them in.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that you kicked off with that, because definitely, you know, shift your focus on the outcome.
Yeah, that you want rather than the problem that's happening and
itself
and the potential outcome that this problem could lead to. So you're thinking, oh my gosh, because this has happened, now my outcome's going to be this.
Yeah.
But when you go, actually, this is happening, but what is it that I would like my outcome to be?
So in a way, what you're saying, and I definitely agree with that viewpoint, is you're kind of saying this is what the situation is. And instead of panicking about finding a solution, you look to, or you could even say, start to visualize the solution and the outcome that you want.
Yeah.
You know, even if you do it within yourself, it's a powerful, I would say, maybe I could call it maybe like a powerful validation of what you want the outcome to be.
Yes.
Or it sort of makes you have a powerful intention of what you want to happen in terms of finding the solution. And I guess I would then say even that thought helps carry you forward in some way.
Yeah, that's true,
it?
actually. As you said, it helps carry you forward rather than feeling overwhelmed
and stuck.
Yeah.
And I think one of the worst things is when you are in a situation of panic and fear, suddenly everything shuts down.
Yes.
Because when you think about it, just think about this. When you are in a situation of fear and you fear a certain outcome, you're actually bringing that negative outcome into being.
Yeah.
So what you mentioned to focus on first is the solution, you know, not even necessarily the answer or how you are going to arrive at the solution, but just fast forward yourself to having the solution already. It gives a powerful message about what you want. And then the rest can slowly begin to fall into place, and fill itself in for you. You know, I think so. I like that. I would definitely agree with that, and I would definitely, you know, I mean, because of the type of person I am, I'm the sort of person that I try not to look for solutions externally. Do you know what I mean? It's easy, and of course, naturally, most of us will look for external solutions.
Sure.
But I always also try to focus on what I can do within myself to, you know, counteract a situation or circumstance or event that, you know, I can look to myself or look within to say, you know, what is this teaching me? What do I need to learn? What do I need to know that can help, you know, carry me forward towards finding that solution? And for me, you know, and I'm not sure if it's the same for others, but you become open to receiving.
Sure.
You know, you open yourself up. That's what I guess I mean, you know, coming from an inner place, or self kind of reflection, that we always talk about.
Exactly.
But you open yourself up to allowing solutions to flow to you.
Yeah, and as you said, when based on what you're saying, when you see it in that type of way, it's also you're seeing it with
some
alternative things that could come from this.
Correct.
That could be for my sort of better good or help me grow and develop to still go forward, but take me to a new place, level, things like that.
In a more empowered way.
More empowered way, yes, exactly.
Because I think sometimes when you need solutions, it's easy to look externally, to look to others to resolve them or save you, or look externally. Sometimes you can be filled with blame, where you start to blame others, and that's not, I'm sure that's something we all do. It's not kind of out of character if you are externally blaming others and saying, oh gosh, if it wasn't, I wouldn't be in this predicament. But I think the ownership of the situation, and we've spoken about this before, taking responsibility for finding your own solutions is an empowering place to kind of overcome any type of adversity.
It is. And
it's not easy.
No. But that is definitely it. But it's, as you said, it's very powerful and can empower you.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
And even, because we're also talking about it from different points of views, stuff like that. So some of the times, even for me, if there's something that initially happens, I might write down 5 or 10 ways to turn this event around. Like, can I turn it around, or sort of get out of it? What sort of means do I have? What skills do I have? Or what can I do to sort of turn this thing from a negative to a positive? Sometimes you can write, because what that does, because we're talking about this from many levels, like a sort of a deeper level, some of us even just a
practical level,
a practical kind of mental level. But even on that, just for in general terms, will start to make people go from problem, this is going to ruin things, to then I'm focusing now on writing alternative or different outcomes that can serve me better. So right there, you're taking control without knowing it.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, of everything, and steering it towards something that's focusing on finding a solution.
Yeah, now, because instead of being a victim of
that's
the
exactly
problem,
it. You're sort of claiming your power.
You're
to say,
taking your
let me
power
steer
to
this ship.
Correct, in the way I want it to go.
That's exactly
not
it.
where I fear it will take me.
Yeah, and you're not leaving yourself to be drifted by the circumstance or event or the crisis or issue.
Yes.
It's rather you're saying, I know this is happening, but how do I rein it in and steer it towards where I want it to go?
Correct.
And there have been times when I've done that and it's been good, because I'm accepting that, hey, something good's going to happen. It's giving me more sort of faith and trust. But then sometimes if I try something I could put down and that doesn't work and I hit a wall, I then go to a place where it's like I let go a bit and say, listen, I'm open to receiving some like an idea or a validation or something like that can help me as well in this moment in time. And that's when I kind of go to affirmations a bit and stuff, just to neutralize the feeling of, even if the stuff I'm writing down to change things, even if I can't do it and I'm trying, I kind of open myself and affirm
other things, other positive things.
That's it. And sometimes even in that way, weird coincidences, some people may call it, happen, but it's almost like you attract the solution or someone that can also help you. And it's not forced, it's just a natural thing, because you are generally open and you've made that choice.
Yeah.
As we talked about earlier, it has to fill itself in. And that's all it's doing. So as long as you can have an outcome on mind, even if you try to create that and it still doesn't work, just be open to it.
Correct.
And it will fill itself in.
It will. And I also feel that with regards to finding solutions, don't always expect the solution to come in the way that you want it to come.
Yeah, that's very true, actually.
You have to be that open
that's true.
to receiving it in a different way or shape or guise, as I kind of term it. Something that may be unrecognizable to you as being the solution that you kind of intuitively receive could be the solution that you were not anticipating or not kind of expecting. Yet the solution is presented to you And if you are open to that type of openness, then you recognize it as being a solution.
But that's
you
true.
don't dismiss it.
Yeah.
You don't say, "Oh, that's stupid," or "No way. Surely I can't do that," or "Surely no." You say, this might be taking me on a slightly different path, or a slightly different viewpoint that I was holding about finding a solution, and I'm open enough to explore what this new avenue can bring for me. And that, I think, is another important thing to share.
No, it is
Because you can get in your mind, oh, I'm expecting this to be the solution. You know, if it's money related, you may say, you know, I need to have this amount by this time. Or, you know, if it's love related, you may say, I'm expecting, you know, the relationship to be at this specific place by this time. Or, you know, if it's work related, you know, I need for myself to be, you know, promoted or get a higher salary or something within this particular time.
Yeah.
But other things may come into play.
True.
Just
It's
be
very
open.
true. It's true.
And some of them may have better solutions than you ever envisaged.
That's very well put together and said, and I totally agree. You know, because this is the thing as well. Going back to what I was just saying about when, even if you're writing things down and you're trying them and they don't happen, you have to be aware sometimes that if you start to feel even more panicked or frustrated about it, you're really still coming from a place of fear. There's a certain element of fear still there.
And that blocks everything.
I've even tried now. I've tried to solve this, but the problem isn't solved yet.
And it's not going away.
It's not going away. So, but that's when you really need to say, I need to pull back, work on myself, and get rid of, if you do, you know, if you're feeling fear and you're coming from that place, panic still,
get rid of
that. And that's why being open is such a great thing, because we could say, you know, just be positive, but people go, but it's easier said than done when when my issue is this, my issue is that. So when you're open to a better outcome, it's so neutral or general that you can, it kind of automatically makes you more positive, but you're not forcing it. You're having no resistance. So it's almost like you just embrace receiving and being open. And the power in that, as you were saying, is that when opportunities do come, or an idea does, or something like that, you'll be able to recognize it. Whereas when you're in a state that's different, more fear-based, more panicked and things like that, it will go over your head and miss you, because, you know, whilst you zig, it zags type of thing. So it's very important that even if you genuinely try and nothing does work and you're getting things to pull back, and being open, being in a good place, in a good frequency and things like that.
And talk about openness, it just reminded me there of one of the sayings I have, which is, you know, opportunities exist everywhere. We just fail to recognize them. And that means that, you know, the failure of our recognition to see solutions, find opportunities and things like that is really our inability to recognize them when they come along. Sometimes they stare you in the face, you know what I mean? Sometimes it is glaring you in the face, but because you are so fixated on things happening in the way you want them to happen, the solution stares you in the face, but you don't recognize it and you don't take any notice of it, and you don't even perceive it as a solution because you've blocked yourself off. That's
absolutely true. Like, it kind of, like, this isn't the same thing, but like when, you know, living in sort of London and things like that, when I go outside, and then there's even places I've been at outside of London and I'm walking around, sometimes I see it differently. I'm like, oh wow, like, it's so beautiful, there's a lot of greenery here and so on. And then I'm starting to like notice different things, like, oh yeah, and there's hills there and there's this and that. But before, I never recognized those things. And I'm not dissing London, obviously, but it's almost like when you look to see something that's like it's so lovely just to get out, or so lovely, it's so wonderful, you start to even recognize wonderful things. So in thing to what you're saying as well is, you know, once you're open to something, you'll start to see the solution you're looking for.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Because you're gonna find whatever you're seeking.
Correct.
You know, so I use that as an analogy in my thing.
think that's a good one.
It works in all types of ways.
It does, and you can apply that to any aspect of your life. You know, as I said, jobs, work, you know, relationships, situations, circumstances, financial, whatever. You can apply that viewpoint to openness in finding solutions for yourself by simply, I could call it, having an awareness of openness as well.
Yeah.
You know, being open, being aware, recognizing, and accepting that things are not going to always go the way you want them to. Even if you see a solution, like we spoke about earlier on in the beginning, even if you see a solution as your final outcome, you don't need to be concerned with the how.
Yeah.
Because once you concern yourself with the how, you're trying to dictate on a mind-based level how it's going to come about. Sometimes the solutions just come out of the blue beyond your, you know, capability to kind of think, how in goodness name has this happened? It came about unexpectedly. It came about because you intended it, but you weren't focused on how it was going to happen. And then the how just sometimes magically falls into place for you.
And I think, no, that's absolutely true. And it sort of reminds me as well of, like, you know, make sure that whatever, if you're taking action in some way, just make sure it's in alignment with what you want your outcome to be as well. And because, like, you remember once that we were talking about it, and I said, you know what, I'm open to it and stuff, but with what I'm doing, I don't want to sit back and feel sorry for myself. So I'm going to keep working on myself and just sort of take, you know, action a bit, and that. But in a way that isn't forced out of fear. It's more of a genuine, do you know what, I'm sure this will figure itself out, but let me keep improving on myself in a supportive and positive way, not in a fear way.
Now,
type of thing.
it's very great that you mentioned action, because we spoke about this. Now, and I said to you, you know what, Jay, if you want a solution to come, you do need to continue undertaking action. Large or small, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and that's true,
But some form of little action that, even if you don't know the how, your little actions, as I call them, keep the wheels turning.
Very true. The
wheels of putting or taking steps forward, whether they're small or large. Action allows you to keep, I would say, the momentum going for yourself towards a solution, that if you don't have action in any little way, you're going to call everything to a standstill. You're going to block everything because you are giving up. You've lost hope. You've decided,
and
there is no way.
And that's what happens.
But that alone stops everything. If that's what you're doing, forget it. Solutions will never be found. Solutions will not come to you if that is how you are choosing to go forward. You have to undertake little bits of action.
It's very true.
They keep the wheels turning.
That's it. The wheels turning, the momentum going is so important.
It
is, because if you stop that, as you said, you stop everything.
You stop it.
You then go into a place where as you said, solutions don't find you, but more problems to find solutions for will. You know what I mean?
That's one of your ones. Say that again.
The solutions won't find you, only more problems to find solutions for will. And that's all it will do, just multiply more problems.
Yeah.
So you have to keep some action
You have to.
and momentum going on.
You have to. And, you know, it doesn't matter what that action is. It doesn't have to be huge.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about in previous episodes taking little steps. And, you know, this is one of them. When you're finding or you're looking for solutions and you want to find solutions and, you know, you're thinking, I don't know where to turn and how is it going to come about? Those things you can actually just brush aside. Because asking those questions to yourself, to your mind, or to others is not pushing you forward towards a solution. Taking action, even if it is a simple action such as, okay, what do I want the solution to be? Let me focus on that. That you mentioned in the beginning. That in itself is a positive action. You know, even if it has nothing to do, the thought alone is a small action step to bring about the solution. And, you know, don't worry. You may find it hard to accept, but you actually don't need to worry about the how.
It's true.
The when or the where. Just focus on the solution you want to manifest. Be ready to be open. Be ready to recognize if it comes in a different way, you recognize it. And the flow of everything will begin to kind of open up for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's the way that's the way I see it.
I agree.
And what do you think? I mean,
I totally agree, and that's why in this episode we've talked about it from different viewpoints and sides, more practical things, and then more things where sort of, even if you're trying but it's not sort of working or this and that, how to go inside, learn to be more open, but still at the same time, as we said, is taking some form of little actions or little steps as well. So I totally agree. We've covered it very well.
Because I can imagine some people were saying, but listen, I have been trying to find a solution. It's not coming. It's not working. It's not, you know, the solution. I would say in that case, I don't know if you'd agree, but I would say if that is your viewpoint, then you are too fixated on how it will come about, and you have to try to let go.
Yeah, and you know, this is the good thing of what we're saying, because on one side, when I was talking about, you know, some people, you can focus on things that you can do to sort of change it. Like if you honestly believe you can, and you can in some way, because some things you will be able to do. You go like, okay, this is what I can do. But you're right, if you do those things and nothing happens, you have to sort of detach from the sort of I know how and just see the outcome you want.
Correct.
And because you're leaving yourself, when you do that, you're putting yourself open for the rest to fill itself in. And then, as we said earlier, you'll then get, like, an idea might come to you whilst you're in the shower or something like that. Or someone may say something, and then you go, oh yeah.
You may see something.
Or yeah,
you may hear something.
See something or hear something. And those kind of miraculous things that you couldn't control will happen. But because you were at least open to them still, you were able to receive it and then sort of work on it. Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes there is this element when things are not going your way, when you feel like all is lost, or you feel as if, you know, I was expecting this,
definitely,
but it's not. You know, there has to be this element of surrender and letting go, and openness kind of sort of shifts you towards that.
Yes,
You become so open that you let go. You know, it's not in the way that you say, "Oh, I give up."
Like you don't let go in the sense of giving up.
Giving up.
Yeah.
You let go in the sense of, this is beyond my personal control. Some will be in your control, but there will be aspects or elements to what you want in finding your solution that will be out of your control, because it may rest with another person.
Yeah.
You know, they may determine an outcome
True. That's true.
that you are waiting on or seeking. It may rest with, like in the situation of a job, several people that may have interviewed you and are formulating and taking their time in deciding whether you're the right fit. Certain things are out of your hands, you know, and in that case you have to surrender and know that if it's meant to be, it will be.
Yeah.
And that is another hard thing.
No, of course.
To surrender
it is
to the solutions that you want.
And I think the thing with the solutions as well is that ultimately I think it will be most of the time, but you have to trust, and you have to, even when worst comes to worst for me, I still go to the place, like whether it's voice notes I've done or things I put on a whiteboard, vision board, or whatever. Like you have to go back to seeing the outcome is going to happen regardless of whatever's happening.
True.
And just that, even not working out how, but just feeling that, it's almost like it just keeps you trusting
and
that
grounded.
That things are going to unfold, and I'm ready for it when it does.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah, and I feel that kind of thought process helps to restore balance for you. Do you know what I mean?
But that's important.
Because all this worry and fear of finding a solution, I've got to have a solution, how's it going to come, all of that just throws you out of balance. But things like this help to restore your balance. And once your balance is more kind of on an even level, you find things do start to change for you naturally.
Yeah, it's you know, it's one of those ones sometimes when even if you don't know it in that moment and things, it's almost like I don't know it yet, but
it's on the way.
It's on the way. Like I will, you know, like a solution will come. Yeah. And you know, like trust you have to kind of go to that type of place, and it sounds like at first blush, oh well, I'm not taking responsibility then, this and that. I'm sort of, as you say, some people might see it as giving up in a sense, but the letting go isn't. It's almost like you're doing yourself more of a favor because you're aware and accepting things. But as you said earlier, when you're in a place of fear and panic, believe me, it doesn't do nothing. It's like it's so much resistance when you're trying to work against that. Yeah. So the best thing to do is just be open and stuff, and then you'll find sometimes the right idea just slips in. Yeah. And you go, actually, like, you know what? Maybe I should do that. And then you go, oh, I never thought of that before, type of thing. Or you're watching something, or you're doing something else, and then it just hits you. Or randomly someone gets in touch you haven't heard and says this. You're like, oh wow, that's. These things happen.
I'm laughing because I remember, Simon Cowell told a story of how he was watching, I think, Teletubbies. Yeah. He had lost everything or something.
Yeah, because he had built something up, but then he had lost it all.
Yeah, and he was at his mum's house watching Teletubbies, I don't know, early morning, and he then got an idea just from just watching that program. An idea just
popped in. He then went on to
build,
his empire.
Yeah. so it just shows that you subtle sometimes. And unobvious.
But that's it. As you said, sometimes
he was open.
But you have to be open, otherwise you won't recognize it. But sometimes we see it coming in a certain package. Yeah. And that's another thing. As you said, like, even when I see an outcome of something, how I get there or it comes about or whatever,
be open.
I don't know the whole thing of that. I can only do what I can do. But after that, I also got to sort of trust in the process and be open to finding out the next step.
Yes.
As you go along.
And I think that way solutions will be easily found. They will come to you, and you will know what to do. you will then take the next step and then be open to finding the solution to the next step. And eventually you find your way there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like headlights in the car.
Yeah.
So there we go. I hope you've really enjoyed that episode, and I hope that everything we've said has been of value to you, and you know, somehow, regardless of what your situation is, stay with it, stay positive, and you will find a solution.
Definitely so. And if you like this episode, then obviously feel free to give it a thumbs up or a like, and you can also check us out as well on Spotify and also other major platforms for podcasts as well. So make sure you do that too. Links are in the description.
Don't forget to subscribe as well.
And that's it. If you like
you're
the
new
episodes and you want to check out more of our episodes as well, then definitely feel free to subscribe and join the family. It's all good.
That's fantastic. And yeah, thanks masses for joining us, and no doubt we'll be doing another episode very soon.
We will be, and let us know as well, whatever you want. Leave comments, anything like that, and we'll make sure that we touch on them.
Definitely.
We'll touch on those topics.
Yeah. And all of what we've said, you can also go back to some of the videos we've done before to get more deep understanding on some of those points as well.
Yep. All right. So I guess that's it.
Yeah.
This is MumNSon, and we're done. See you all on the next one.
Take care.
Take
Bye.
it easy. Bye.